Well, good evening, everybody, or good morning, whatever you want to call it, or wherever you're from. It's evening for me. I just got off of work not too long ago. Glad you were able to make it tonight, and we'll see how this goes. Let me bring Chiro on.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is for you.
Yeah, I hope everybody didn't get confused about the time that I posted.
Right. Well, we're just going to have a fun time for a little while since you just got home from work and see if there's any night owls out there.
Yeah, I hope there is. I hope there's a lot of night owls. I know we are.
We have no choice. You're on second shift.
All right. Well, let's get started with our main subject tonight, and we're going to call this "Night Owls into the Unknown." And I had it as a special edition, but I think that's what we're just going to keep the title as part of the "Piercing the Veil," our main subject or title, and we're just going to call this "Night Owls into the Unknown." So I think tonight Chiro wanted to talk about dreams, whether it's ours or anybody's in the chat rooms, or we're not any we're not by any means any experts in reading dreams or telling you what they mean or anything, but we know what our dreams are, at least the ones we remember and the vivid ones, and
Right.
we'll try to explain it the best we can. And if you in chat or anybody's there will let us know what they think, and we'll just continue the conversation like that.
Yeah, but I've always been fascinated with dreams because when you wake up, you just barely remember a little bit. And by the time you're going to the bathroom and getting out of bed, you forget everything. So those dreams I feel like are dreams, but then there's times you wake up and it's a very vivid dream and you remember all the details and the smell and the touches, everything about it years later, like you're just seeing it. So I strongly feel that with a lot of podcasts that I've been watching, some of these vivid dreams are actually either an experience that you went through that night while you were asleep, or are they past memories? Are they possibly past life memories? But these vivid dreams are something that a lot of people experience, and they are different than just a regular dream that you forget about.
Right. There's so many theories out there on dreams and what they mean, and like you said, whether they're past lives or while you're in a sleep state, REM state, your deepest sleep, that you're actually doing something in another, say, multiverse or dimension, and your other, I don't know, your whatever you want to call it, your other higher self or whatever's got tasks that you do, and living out like a whole nother life in your dream world.
Right. And some people wonder if there's a parallel world, are we going over there while we're sleeping? And vice versa. There's just so many theories. I have no idea. I have an open mind. I just know that both of us have experienced vivid dreams on and off our lives, and we don't understand them. But the more podcasts we watch, and we get a little more understanding, possibly what we were experiencing. Some people remember out of body experiences and traveling. Some people say they can control their dreams while they're dreaming. I've never been able to do that. I have no idea how people do that. But some people, experience different things and remember when they wake up.
Well, I know I heard it on a podcast, or I believe it was a podcast, maybe on a radio show that I listened to, that if you concentrate before you fall asleep on, okay, tonight I'm going to use my hands to do
Hmm.
something during my dream to try to control something that that I normally are unable to do while I'm dreaming. Because a lot of people talk about they can't do anything. You know, they're just there like they're an extra in a movie and you're watching everything. But they say if you actually concentrate or meditate when you're going to sleep, that okay, tonight I'm going to grab this object or I'm
Mm.
going to stop somebody with my hand from doing something, that you start getting more control into your dreams on what you do during them. And then as time goes on, you just keep adding to it and adding to it. And pretty soon you're living out what you want to do in your dreams compared to you just being there watching what's going on.
Right. And I had a vivid dream even as a young child that I was inside the doghouse with my dog, and this strange man was walking in our garage, and I was trying to scream Annie, Annie, our dog's name, but nothing could come out. It was just like, eh. And then that's all I remember of that. So I don't know, did I experience something, during that? But as as an adult now, I can still remember that dream that I had as a young child.
So that's something different than being, I don't know what you call it, paralyzed. You know how people say they're paralyzed when they sleep, like night terrors or whatever, that you weren't actually awake, you're still in your dream.
No, it was a dream. That dog actually bit my thumb when I was 6 years old, so there's no way I'd be in that doghouse with that dog. So it was definitely a dream. So I don't know, but I still remember it that I could not speak. And I've heard, podcasts again about dreams, that what they mean if you can't speak and you're just trying to yell and scream and there's nothing coming out. There's different meanings for dreams, but are we sure that's even legit? I don't think doctors even really understand dreams. And, like our bodies go into like a sleep mode, like a computer, but the computer's still on at night. And it's our conscious. I don't know if we do go to our higher conscious or we all go somewhere, astral travel while we sleep, but our minds are still going. And there's so many people around the whole world that's having these experiences of strange things, or they wake up suddenly and they remember something happening, or even being abducted with by a UFO or seeing grays. There's just been so many things that people have seen that they actually remember. I just wish we knew what is going on in our mind while we sleep, and why are we remembering some of these vivid dreams.
Well, I think they're doing better studies now of dreams and they're able to tap into our subconscious while we're dreaming, and do sleep sleep therapy or analysis of people, and they're able to hook up what they believe is the dream centers of our brain and starting to record it and trying to be able to understand it. So I don't even know where I was going, but anyway, most dreams I remember when I wake up, but then as I get going or getting ready for the morning or doing everything, then it just totally goes away. But when I first
Right.
get up, I do remember all my dreams, but there's only like four or five that I really remember every day, and I can tell you right away what I did and what the colors were and what
Hmm.
was going on. Do you see color when you dream?
I only have had one dream that it was color, and this lady that I knew for a little while several years ago was in the dream, and she had like a red hat on, and I could see the red hat, but most of the time I do not recognize colors. I think mine are black and white because I do not see colors in my dream except for that one time a few years ago. And I was actually kind of shocked that I actually saw a bright red.
Yeah, because when I dream, I mostly see the colors of whatever it is, but it's got to be a specific object though. Like if I see a car, it could be a red car, a blue car, and I actually see the color of the car, but everything else is kind of blurry or not in color. But then there's other ones, depending on what scenery my dream is. cast in, I could see color of the trees or pines or flowers or whatever. And only, I don't know, probably a year ago, I started dreaming on purpose or try to concentrate almost like a black and white movie to start off with, like a street scene. I just kind of picture it in my head and it's in black and white. So
Hmm.
my dream stays in black and white that whole night. But normally I'll see colors.
I wonder why that's different for some people. But I hate to cut you off. We have two people on our chat.
Yeah. Hi, Toombs.
And we have Toombs and Derek. Thank you very much, you guys, for joining us.
Yep.
So
Hi, Derek. Glad you came.
I know it's 12:42 here, but we stay up late anyway. We stay up to like 1:30, sometimes 2 o'clock.
There's been
So
a few
thank you
times we've
very much
stayed,
for joining us.
been a few times we've stayed up later than that, but that just
Yeah,
depends
sometimes.
on what we got going on the next day or
And then we're like teenagers and we sleep till noon.
I can't. I don't know. I don't know
Well,
what's going on.
second shift is definitely different. You know, you walk in at midnight with pizza or tacos, and now we're going to do some quick live streams at night. It's 4:45 Thursday here in Australia. Oh, wow.
Geez,
PM. So it's
just,
nighttime there.
just getting ready to start their evening here pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, here in about an hour or so, we'll probably be going to sleep.
Well, we'll see how this goes. It might be longer than that. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, since we do stay up late and if we got a lot of people in chat, we'll just keep on going. So we're talking about dreams tonight. You know, vivid dreams or the dreams that you barely remember. So if you have any questions or any comments, if you have any strange dreams or you're experiencing vivid dreams and don't understand them, this is our topic tonight. So feel free to join in chat with comments or questions.
Or tell us your dreams in the chat.
Yeah, you can tell us your dreams.
So I was looking up, and we've read. Me and you have both read about crystals since we do collect crystals and gemstones and whatever. That just to go along with our subject, that some of the main crystals that people use while they sleep to either have lucid dreams or even to try to prevent nightmares, which a lot of people have nightmares. Not everybody has good dreams, believe it or not. And I know everybody knows what this is like. Mostly my dreams are good. I don't hardly ever have any real bad dreams. I don't know why. I've never had. They've always been just stuff going about my business or some kind of action thing, but it's never been anything where I've been killed or fell or going off a cliff or any of those dreams of falling. But back on subject where I was talking about the crystals, they say that amethyst is the number one thing to have by your bed or around you while you're dreaming, along with selenite. And we have selenite in our bedroom all over while we sleep.
Hmm. I have large wands that are quite long that you put at the foot of your bed or the head of your bed, and it just helps draw any negativeness and helps protection. And with other protective stones, I like black tourmaline and black obsidian. There's jet was another black one, and the selenite will actually charge the other stones. So there's quite a few different stones that will help you with dreams and help just with protection from bad nightmares, like you said.
Yep. They also say lapis
Oh yeah, lapis is a good one.
and moonstone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several different kinds of jaspers, but they only listed like a couple, like red and some ocean jasper.
There's tons of different kinds of jaspers. So, and there's many different kinds. So, and they probably do specify for certain areas.
And they all have different characteristics. So I don't know if you can just pick one Jasper over another. I mean, you probably have to experiment and see how your
Right.
night goes.
And I think amethyst is another one.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Amethyst is
Amethyst. Yeah.
one of the main ones that everybody talks about for sleeping and warding off nightmares.
Well, one thing that I do try to pray to, God, creator, spirit, whatever anyone wants to call the big guy, the creator that, is control of all this. But I always try to do pray for protection before I sleep. I actually learned years ago somewhere that, I just come out and say, into thy hands I commit my spirit, and then I add my body, my mind, my soul, and please protect me while I'm sleeping. And I just wonder if that has always helped because I've done that for quite a few years. But I don't recall ever having any horrible nightmares or waking up with night sweats. I know our youngest daughter did. She had horrible dreams of UFOs or someone shooting me, and she seen me get shot. And so you and I prayed for her, and she said they stopped. She didn't have any of those dreams anymore. And I'm pretty sure my oldest daughter, she was having some bad dreams at times also.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember some of those nights.
Hmm. And it also makes you wonder what's causing people to walk in their sleep. They're actually sound asleep, but they're walking around. They'll talk to you. I even walked in my sleep one time, and I guess I was very small. That my mom's bedroom had two doors, and I came out the other door coming out of the living room that goes into her bedroom, and then the other door goes down the hallway where the bedrooms are. And she saw me and she's, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just going to the bathroom." So I did go to the bathroom in my sleep and went back to bed, but yeah, I just went all the way around the whole circle of the house and went through her bedroom with both doors. I don't remember doing that, but I think that was the only time I recall ever sleepwalking.
Well, I think that would be pretty beneficial to stay asleep and be able to go to the bathroom and then go back to sleep and not lose any sleep at all.
Right.
It's too bad you can't control that when you want to.
I guess some people really have a bad time sleepwalking. So
Now, as a,
I just,
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, I just wonder what actually causes that because they're probably doing something and walking in their dream, they're acting it out, but they're actually dreaming, and something has to control your body like that to get you up and walk around like you're wide awake.
Well, your brain is supposed to shut off your muscles while you're sleeping so you don't do stuff like that or harm yourself. You're supposed to be in a relaxed state and your brain is supposed to shut off your motor skills. But obviously that doesn't always work all the time. So I'm assuming that during those nights that their brain doesn't shut those parts off and you're able to live out what you're dreaming, whether you're walking or going to go do something or cooking. I mean, people cook during their sleep even.
Hmm.
As a kid, what I was going to tell you before when I interrupted you is I remember my brother would sleepwalk, but not all the time. Just every once in a while. I don't know if it was a certain food he ate or certain activity they did during the day that just activated that at certain nights. But there was one early morning he was, I guess he was going to sleepwalk, but he was running or something, so he jumped out of bed and ran straight into the closet door and fell down and knocked everything over and woke the whole house up. But he was sound asleep until he crashed into the door. Obviously, then he woke up, and obviously, mom and dad and everybody were trying to figure out what was going on.
Oh, yeah, it makes me wonder if those who sleepwalk while they're still dreaming is a totally different kind of dream. We were talking about dreams that maybe we do astral travel, our spirit or soul every single night, because that's the things that I do kind of remember. I'm with a bunch of people. We're doing things or talking is nothing that I really quite remember, but I'm always with some people. I'm very peaceful and loving and it's a happy place, but I just don't remember everything about it except the other, vivid dreams that I've had on and off. That I think everybody has probably had vivid dreams from time to time.
Right. During high school, I played baseball and basketball all 4 years of high school, and probably about my freshman year, maybe sophomore year, I would be playing baseball in my sleep. And I would actually be sitting up in bed, still under the covers and everything, but sitting up in bed, and I would be pitching a baseball game until dad would come in and wake me up and tell me to go to sleep. And I can still see that in my mind about some of the games or plays I was making and pitches I was doing.
That was probably on your mind so much before you fall asleep, and you just fell into that dream state of, like what you were saying at the beginning, if you concentrate on something at the beginning, like I want to dream about something, and then maybe that does happen.
Yeah, I mean, being in sports or any activity in school, I mean, you just live nonstop other than school. You're either practicing or playing a game or thinking about it or whatever. So it is stuff like that that probably is in your mind, even in the back of your mind, you don't realize it. Then sleeping probably brings it out.
Mm-hmm. But just like you were saying, when we're laying in bed and you just close your eyes, and when you think of something, you can actually see it kind of like a TV screen. And I can't do that. I can kind of imagine it in my third eye, but I don't see it vividly. So that's something that you and I do totally different. Now I'll see like white swirls sometimes going, or is it like there's circles like going into a tunnel or something. And even if I open up my eyes and look at the dark ceiling, I'm seeing that. But seeing what you're thinking, I have never been able to do that. So maybe you can explain what you were trying to tell me that one night, how you can actually vividly see what you're thinking, like you're watching TV.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always had that, and I don't know what it is or what you would call it, but if if I'm just sitting here thinking about something I want to do, say it's working on a car or mechanic, I can physically in my mind see the part, the car, the engine, turning the wrench, taking the bolt out. Even though I'm staring and talking at you right now, I can see the bolt and the starter that I'm taking out of the car right now.
That's interesting. I
And
mean,
then
I
if
can kind of
I,
imagine it in my mind, but actually, I can't really vividly kind of, see it like you're saying.
yep, it's weird. I don't know what it is. And I talk to other people and they don't have that, or I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure lots of people probably have it, or,
I may be the oddball.
yeah,
You don't know. I just,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm the oddball in this, but
no, actually, I think we're all aliens. We don't know.
and then the other thing is just like dreaming in color. If I can sit there and
Hmm.
if I imagine in my mind a dog or whatever kind of dog it is, I can see the color of the fur. I can see if it's a black and white spotted dog or if it's a golden retriever. I can see the gold, but I have to concentrate on that to have to actually see the colors. But like if I'm concentrating on like the instance I told you a minute ago, it's all black and white, but it's just vivid. I can just see it just like I'm watching a movie. I can see as I'm thinking of it, what I want to do. It just happens. I can see it.
Well, just like one of your vivid dreams that you're probably going to talk about, you can probably talk about it now, that you saw the vivid colors was your owl.
Yes. No, and I don't know what it means. And I've talked to other people about it and they kind of gave me ideas what they think it means but I still don't know. I don't know what I was doing in my dream. but I am gonna say that I'm 6'3", almost 6'4", I guess. And at the time, I was probably what, 220 pounds. And the only reason I bring that up is because in my dream, I was like this big stature of a person. Almost in my mind, I'm just kind of wondering now if it was almost like Bigfoot esque big. And but I
Hmm.
don't really think I pictured myself as a Bigfoot, but that just that huge of a thing. And we're in the forest, but it's a clearing. And the next thing I know, I'm got an owl on my shoulder, and it was the prettiest owl. It was had the brown and white feathers. And when I looked at it and it looked at me, it had these big, piercing, orange glow eyes. I mean, just like you would see in really sharp HD pictures, of
Hmm.
animals. And the weirdest part about this dream is that we were talking to each other.
Hmm.
It it was saying something to me, and I was saying something to it, but I could not for the life of me remember or even know if I even heard in the dream what we were saying to each other.
Oh, wow. Do you think you were speaking English?
I think I was
Hmm.
speaking English, and I think it was speaking English. I mean, that's just the sense I get.
I
But I
wonder why.
never, I never saw it fly in. And when I first started my dream that I remember, it wasn't on my shoulder. But then all of a sudden, in a split second, it is on my shoulder, and we're carrying on the conversation. And that's when the dream ended.
I wonder why the color was so vivid, but you're not able to remember the conversation for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything past the owl was vivid in color. The trees were color, and there was pine trees with bright, bright green pine needles,
Hmm.
and but the eyes against the brown was just amazing.
You always dream about the animals.
Yeah, I do have a lot of animal dreams. I don't know what, but it seems like the owl comes up in my life a lot. I don't know what it is about owls, or if that's actually my spirit animal, and maybe that was my spirit animal guiding me or directing me. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I just wonder how people actually do find out what their spirit animal is. I've always been drawn to a certain animal that I've always liked for many years of my whole life, but I'm wondering if is that the reason why? Is that your spirit animal that's a certain animal that always shows up or you're just fascinated with?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, like I said, I've always had owls in my life, whether it was as kids, going out with the family or hunting or mushroom hunting or just out for a stroll in the woods
Hmm.
or even now since we've been married, we've had owls all over the place show up.
Just like that teeny tiny one the other year. That was about 2 years ago when that happened.
Yeah.
A real tiny little screech owl that was only about 6 inches high. And he hung out here for quite a few months on and off. And then he showed up a little bit the next summer, then that was about it. But I could still hear one or two off to the distance, all trilling and screeching and talking to each other. But I, living in Illinois my whole life, I did not realize that screech owls were teeny tiny little things that looked like little baby owls. So that was a really interesting time that you came home with pizza and it was sitting on our front porch on our wooden morel mushroom right next to the door. And I just opened up the screen door. You came walking in with the pizza. It didn't fly off. It just kind of looked at us. And you came in, and I just went, "Well, I'm going to go out and just open up the screen door a little bit," and reached out and pet it a little bit. And that's when it flew off. But then there was another night that you came home, and it was right there by your head on top of a little birdhouse. So, I mean, animals, either they're drawn to us because we're animal empaths, or it was something else that was showing up to try to give us a message. Once again, I'm not an expert, neither are you. We don't know, but it's just been fun having all these experiences with animals. And then we had a raccoon that just kind of showed up at the front door, kind of looking in and acting like he was friendly, like he'd been around people before. So we started feeding him for, I don't know, it was several weeks, I guess he was here. And then he just kind of stopped showing up, and we were kind of bummed. We couldn't give marshmallows anymore and hot dogs. But then shortly after that, you had that other dream about that fuzzy animal thing that you saw. So that was your other vivid dream that you had.
Yeah, I remember that raccoon showing up, and we had the cast iron grating on our screen door to our main door, and he'd actually
Hmm.
grab it and rattle it and let us know that he was there.
Yeah, he would come up and sit, just like a coon, and he'd sit there kind of holding on to the bars like, "Hey, I'm here. Where's my marshmallows? I want hot dogs." And I'm thinking that's not a normal coon behavior, because normally when coons see me on the porch when I open up the door, they just take off running. This little guy just started coming up to the front door like, "Hey, you got food?" So it just makes me wonder, is your vivid dream about this fuzzy animal looking thing, was that connected because that coon stopped showing up here?
Yeah,
So
I
it
don't
might be
know.
silly, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a different kind of dream too. It was me and you in the dream, but the weird thing is that growing up, my aunt and uncle lived on a street, and then there was an alley that was gravel that went between the houses, and then the house next door was my sister and brother-in-law's house. So they lived next to each other for quite a long time. Well, I was coming out of my uncle and aunt's house, and I'm coming down the sidewalk like I'm going to my sister's house, just right across the alley there. And here's this roly poly, big as a hog, almost a hog shape, but it was fuzzy. It looked just like I don't know how to describe it, a big fuzzy roly poly teddy bear looking thing that is not an animal that I would recognize or know what it is, or but it was just friendly as all get out, and it come up and instantly rolled on its back and wanted its belly pet. And so that's when I was petting it, and you were coming out at the end of the dream out of my brother-in-law and sister's house, coming out to the sidewalk, and I was going to tell you about this thing and have you come over and look at it. Then the dream ended.
Now, didn't you say that it was just so silky and soft, like an Angora bunny, that the fur was different too?
Oh yeah, it was just amazing. It was just like petting the softest thing I've ever felt in my life, and I could
Hmm.
feel it in my fingers, and I could. Again, all the colors were vivid. I mean,
Hmm.
I instantly recognized you, and I had the sense that we were married, but I don't know why you were over at my sister's house and I was over at my aunt and uncle's.
Yeah.
But whatever that means, I don't know. But we came out. You came out running, not running, but came out to the sidewalk as I'm encountering this animal. And like I said, once I'm getting ready to tell you to, hurry up, come over here and check this out, it was gone, and the dream was gone.
Wow. And it was shortly after that raccoon was here, and it seemed friendly. It just makes me wonder if there's a connection there.
Yeah, I don't know, but it wasn't raccoon colors. It was a brown, almost like a blonde bear.
Hmm. not a normal animal that we have on Earth, definitely.
No, it's nothing I've ever seen. I don't even think I've even seen one in the movies or anything. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if I even really remember if I saw its face. I think it was just all fur. I knew it had eyes and stuff, but it was just all fur. It was just like a big fluffy thing.
You know what I was thinking is it's a pig-shaped tribble.
Tribble. It does kind of remind me of a real huge elongated tribble from
Yeah.
Star Trek.
That was my favorite show on Star Trek. I love those tribbles. Wow.
Yep. So that was yeah, that was a very vivid dream. I don't know why I would have that one though. It doesn't make any sense to me, other than that we were together, obviously.
Mm. Well, look how many times the last few years I have woken up in the morning remembering you and me in the dream. And it was always like we were separated or we were doing a mission or you were gone or I was gone and we're reuniting. And every single time I remember coming up to you and just hugging you and burying my face into your chest. And I've always wondered about that too. Like, you know, some people don't believe in reincarnation, but some people do. I mean, none of us really know for sure, but were we, married before in past lives? Am I remembering that? Or were we together in that sleep? That you might not remember it, but I ended up remembering it. But there's so many times that I know that it's you. I really don't remember fully your face, but you just know who that person is that you're with in your dream. And it's not like I was crying and happy to see you. It was just like a relief, like it was over, or, that we're finally back together. It just, if that makes any sense. But it's always like I feel safe again. But that's happened several times these last few years.
Right. I mean, we've talked to people about this or brought it up just a little bit, not in full detail, but and then they've told us, that we've been together in many previous lives, and that they gave us scenarios that we were either I was a soldier and you were a nurse in World War I or whatever the conflict was. I think they said World War I. And then you took care of me during the war. But I don't know about that one. That one doesn't really resonate with me.
I don't have any interest of being a nurse or medical field or anything like that. But once again, we just really don't know. There's always not just a parallel world or reincarnation, but there's always the multiverse. How many of us is out there? And experiencing that we are together, but it's slightly different life.
Yeah,
So,
because and if you go by the multiverse,
hmm
you could be Jane that you are now. You could be Jane the nurse in one universe. You could be Jane the beautician or something in another universe. You could be Jane the musician that does that for a living in another universe. I mean, there's just all kinds of possibilities.
right.
And you have those uh, skills in your real life now. I mean, you do know medicines and herbal and stuff
hmm
like that, and you are a musician, even though it's not your main profession. You're very talented and have musician in there, and I mean, so you could have all your skills or all your attributes could be what their main thing is in theirs, and have the little ones, that are everybody else's too.
Well, you can explain that we've been so fascinated with some YouTube videos of these 2, 3, 4-year-old kids that I mean, they play without reading music, and it's like they were a professional in another lifetime, and they remember how to play. I mean, it's not just being a genius. They know how to play that guitar or that piano, and they just go crazy. They're toddlers. So, are we supposed to, still have our gifts for a while? Do they fade away for a while, or do we get in the quilting for a while because we used to quilt in another lifetime, and you're supposed to go through these little hobbies for a while to re-experience it? Or the multiverse, are we going through all different experiences so we can learn? Like, we're down here kind of like at a school. Are we learning from this? Are we crying like a little victim, or are we standing up and acting like a survivor and learn from that mistake or learn from that situation and move on? So there's just so many different ways we can look at this that it's just interesting to hear other people's experiences also.
Right. It is amazing though when you brought up the kids that they're just so talented and so it's this second nature that they don't even think about it, that they're just fantastic, whether they're playing an instrument or whether it's mathematics or whether it's science. Or so many
Hmm.
young kids that are just know this stuff, whether they, I don't know if it just came to them or if they've had to study and they just absorb stuff more fast or faster than we ever have.
Hmm.
But when you're thinking of the past lives or whatever you want to say, that, we are here in this lifetime to experience or develop a skill or a way to handle certain situations that we experience. And that's why we're here. We're going to go through something that we need for our higher self to add to their repertoire, if you want to call it that, or their life skills. So they send us out on these, if you want to call them missions. It's not like 20 and back or anything. This, we're talking about consciousness on your higher levels, that the higher you raise your consciousness and then you have a supreme higher person or yourself, whatever it is. I don't know if they exactly look like you or not, but it's your higher self. And you go into these, you choose to come into this life here on earth, whether it's, you want to call it reincarnation or not, or if you want to call it a mission. And we're here to develop and to learn what we experienced here. And it goes to our higher self consciousness to add. And so then the other reincarnation or life that we had, we went into that, whether it was during the gladiator years, during Rome or whatever, whether you were a gladiator or whether you were a slave or you were one of the hierarchy of the rich and powerful people. You were chosen for that mission to experience something that's going to happen during your lifetime on there, or develop your person or your personality, your characteristics to take to your higher self conscious. And I really do believe that.
Yeah, because we don't really know when we get like messages or nudges or feel a presence. Is it actually God? Is it Jesus? Is it the Holy Spirit? Is it past loved ones? Is it angels? Guardian angels? Some people call them spirit guides now. Are they just angels? Is it our higher consciousness that, we are connected to? I do feel like it's all connected, because when Christ said, I am in the Father and the Father is in me. And then when you do the salvation prayer, you're asking the Lord to come in and live inside your heart, the chakra area. Well, if he's living inside of us all the time, he's not coming and visit and going. He's with us all the time. Well, if he is, so the Holy Spirit is also, and so is God. They're in one. You know, he's just not saying, I'm God. He's saying, when you see me, you see the Father, because he was in him. We were connected in the one, like a Christ consciousness. So when we all do get there, I think we are all going to be like connected in a way, you know, like a body. There's a finger and there's toes and there's knees and there's different parts of the body, but you put it all together, it's one.
Now,
So
I was just going to say, now I know when you were talking about, what the higher conscious is, or what, our guardian angels. I do know that they say, or what I've heard and listened to, is that your higher consciousness or your higher conscious self is a total entity all by itself. And then you also have guardian angels
mm-hmm,
that it brings to you to help you. So they're not exactly the same entity or whatever. They're separate aspects of your consciousness or your higher consciousness that they are here to guide us, to help us. Now, I'm assuming you can have more than one guardian angel, but I know you always have one main one.
right. Well, there probably is extra ones that are like just not just guardian angels, but warring angels, or a messenger angel will show up.
And I'm sure instances and different aspects of your life, you probably do have to have different ones from time to time, but you probably still have your main one there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my life, I mean, to keep up with me, they probably had to have lots of them. I don't know.
Well, another aspect of dreams that I was thinking of talking about is the ones that people are dreaming of something ahead of time and then it happens a day or two or a week or so later. You know, that they actually dreamed it happening and then it comes true. And I've never experienced that. I don't think you have either, but we've heard
No.
people talk on, you know, podcasts of doing that, that they had that dream that actually came true a few days later or down the road.
Now I've had deja vu where it's like, that instance where something happens like, man, why do I know this?
Or
But I
why have
don't
I been here? Hmm.
but I don't think it was in a dream. And I don't know if you dream a sequence or something that happens in the future, then it comes to fruition, that's called deja vu. I think deja vu is just an instant when you realize, man, this is familiar. I've been through this before somehow, or
Hmm.
but now whether and even people that have premonitions, I don't think that's part of the dream state either. It could be, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a vision, because they talk in the Bible, about them having visions, or basically being asleep and having visions.
Hmm. Well, my older brother has experienced the premonitions, but it wasn't through a sleep. He just saw the vision and knew exactly what color car, make, model it was, what road it was, and it almost came out and hit our mom. And so then when he got on the phone with her, he explained, you know, asked her, you know, has anything happened here recently? And she started explaining it. And he said, yeah, I saw it. And she said, what do you mean you saw it? So he said, well, was it such and such car and this and that and this road on the way home? And almost pulled out and hit, you know, he just explained it exactly. And she was just like shocked, like, yeah. And so he's had other premonitions like that. And I guess my father also would have some premonitions, but that's different than dreaming, you know, and maybe somebody premonition dreams, you know, but you know, they do see what happens ahead of time and then actually boom, it happened.
Now you have people like, is it Edgar Casey, that had visions in his dream and they recorded them.
Hmm.
And even I believe Nostradamus, I don't know if he was asleep at the time though when he gave
Well,
his.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was asleep or he actually saw like premonitions, like a vision being awake.
But definitely Edgar Casey was asleep, and he would talk as he was going through these things, and he had an assistant or somebody writing them down to record them.
Yeah, it's just an interesting subject that nobody really understands, and I don't really think the doctors fully understand what dreams are or what they mean, or maybe they do and they're not telling us the truth.
I don't know. I really don't think anybody knows.
Right.
I mean, for gosh sake, if we have dreams, you think we would have some kind of insight to what they are, but we don't.
Mm-hmm. And why is it that you can actually remember feeling something or a certain color or even a smell?
Now, I don't know if I've ever had a smell during a dream. I don't think I've ever had that. I've had emotions, I've had like a seeing
Mm-hmm.
colors, I've had feelings and sensation, but I don't think I've ever had a smell.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a smell. I do remember seeing one of our dogs after it passed, but it was about like a year or so after our dog passed that I remember going up to her and petting her, and I remember actually feeling petting her, and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's Nika," and I do remember actually feeling her fur and petting her.
Hmm.
And then another time, our favorite cat called Kit Kat, he was just a big, giant, fat, giant thing. I had a dream that I was walking down a path, but once again, it wasn't color. I was walking down a path, and here he comes walking towards me. And I went, "Oh my gosh, it's Kit Kat." I said, "I need to take you back home." And I remember picking him up and, starting to walk off, and that was the end of that dream. But I do, it's so vivid and real. So people do say, do our pets come and visit us in our sleep? It just makes me wonder, about that also. Some people have their past relatives come to their dreams.
Now, I've had dreams of events and stuff, but I cannot say that I've had a past pet or a dead relative in any of my
Hmm.
dreams.
You just find ponies and owls and big fuzzy hairy pigs.
And horses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what it is. I don't know what directs your dreams or why some people dream or have nightmares or why other people have good dreams. Like I said, I think most of mine have all been good. Not that they've been happy and joyous dreams, but nothing terrific has ever happened to me or anything in any of my dreams. I've never been chased or stalked or monsters or any of that, other than maybe the when I was a kid, when I was in the crib, that dream, or
mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it was really even a dream.
Right. So you don't remember if you were actually awake and actually experienced that, or if it was a dream that you remember. Because I have something similar that I'm not sure if these memories that I have as a very young child were dreams that I kind of remember, or did I actually experience and do some of these things that I'm remembering? So,
The dream that I had as a child, well, I'm not going to say I was a baby, but I was in a crib, and dad had just built the house that I was raised in, and we were living downstairs because the upstairs wasn't finished yet or completed. So we were downstairs living because we had a full kitchen downstairs. We had our bedrooms. We had a living room, and I was in the crib, and I was in mom and dad's room, or right there, because there wasn't no doorways downstairs in that part of the basement where their bedroom was, so they could see my crib, and obviously I could see them in bed. So I'm assuming I was asleep. and my hand was between the railings or the slats of the side that goes up, and something touched my hand. And I remember looking down, and it was a little tiny, however tall it was, thing, person. It was human. It was human to me, and it was dressed in a jester outfit, and it had the full costume that you would see a jester in any of the movies or any of the shows that you would see. It had the hat on with the little tassels coming off of the bells on the end. It had the stripes coming up and down the onesie or whatever you would call that they wear, and then it actually had the frill around the collar and around the wrists, and I did not get a scary feeling. I wasn't feeling like I was being harmed or drug out. It just grabbed my hand like it was. I don't know if it was trying to call me or trying to wake me or just curious and grabbed my hand, but it felt real. I knew somebody grabbed my hand, but when I eventually did start coming to my senses, I did get scared. And then that's when I started crying, and mom came and got me. And obviously, it was not there when she picked me up out of the crib.
Hmm.
So I don't know what to think of that. I don't know if it was real, if it was a dream, or a little of both, or something was projecting that in my dream to see whatever that was. I mean, we've had people tell when we've told this story to other people, just like we have everything else, and they thought, well, maybe it was a little gray
Hmm.
or
They called it a
something,
screen memory.
and then it tried to project something that it thought that, okay, this is what I want this person to see, or so it won't necessarily see what I really am.
Yeah, you saw something different that still scared you, but it was actually something else. There's a lot of people experience that, and they call it a screen memory, that your mind, you wouldn't be able to comprehend, seeing what actually it was. So it could have been a little gray, and, were you taken during that time? We
Yeah.
just, yeah, we just don't know. Just like my experience, I know I was younger than kindergarten, and I definitely know that my three siblings were not home because they would have came in the backyard and scolded me like a little brat and told me to shut up. But we lived next to several acres of woods and fields in our backyard. And I remember hollering, which I thought was a dog, a big, I guess like a big blue fuzzy dog that I ended up getting a stuffed animal for that just kind of, calmed me down. And I called it Lila. And I was screaming at the edge of the woods, Lila, Lila. And I kept doing that over and over again for several minutes. And like I said, I know my siblings would come out and say, shut up. And so it had to been, I was, either 3 or 4. I was home with mom, and the other kids were gone at school. But I don't remember walking out there. And I don't remember, walking and going back in. So I really don't know if that was a dream that I actually remember. But what's kind of interesting is when we talked to Robin McCrae, she picked up right away that I was calling for a juvenile female Sasquatch, and we've been playing in the woods. And she even mentioned, I think, the girl's name too, and we didn't write that one down, that I was actually calling for that Sasquatch friend. So, and it is a memory that I remember so vividly to this day, and I was so young and little, but I really, like you said, I really don't know if that was a dream that I actually woke up and remember to this day, or did I actually go to the backwoods and start screaming and hollering towards the woods? I don't know. It's something that I do remember as a very young child.
Yeah, I just thought of I don't know what it is, a theory, or it just came to me that reality and dreams are so closely linked together on how we process them and our, I mean, we try to make sense, rationalize it in our head, and we can't do it a lot of times. I mean, even reality stuff happens that we just can't rationalize what we see, what we experience. And the reason I bring this up is because you said you don't remember getting out to the trees or going
Mhm.
back from the trees.
Yeah, going back to the house. I just remember at the edge of the tree line hollering and expecting that, hoping that this dog, I kept thinking it was a dog. I kept hoping this dog would come out of the woods and come play with me.
Because the reason I bring this up is because a lot of times in my dreams, I'm the same way. I don't know how I got to where I am, just like the one with the owl on my shoulder. I was just instantly in the trees or in the clearing of trees. And when the dream ended, I didn't go anywhere. I was just still in that one spot. I didn't walk anywhere. I didn't go anywhere. It just happened. I was just there. And then the dream ended. And the same thing as I was a kid, and this is real life. I did the normal kid thing, mad, run away from home. But in my mind, I could not remember how I ended up where I was when my sister found me hiding with my little suitcase packed with my teddy bear and blanket in it. And I remember the moment when she found me and I'm sitting there hiding in the bushes and she drugged me out and said how much trouble I was in and took me home, but I don't remember going home or anything after that either. I remember,
Right,
okay, I ran away from home. I'm in the bushes. My sister found me, and this is real life. That's the only memory I have of that instance, and that's just like we're talking about in our dreams.
right. Well, I had another one that I just felt like if I go to the edge of the woods in the backyard and just kind of hum and sing and dance and bounce, that all these animals would be following behind me. And I kept doing it and, expecting, okay, there's going to be like a squirrel or a bunny. And I just imagined this, animals following me. And I turned around, there's nothing. And I was just
And
disappointed. So I
yeah,
don't know if that was me playing or not, but even going back to the one hollering Lila, even if my mom was home, I feel like I would remember her coming in the backyard saying, "Who are you calling? What are you doing?"
right.
If I was under, like 3, 4, or even 5 before going in the kindergarten, you know, mom didn't leave me, just open up the doors and, hey, go play outside. She had to been around somewhere. So it just makes me wonder this day that, was that a dream that I just thought happened for real?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you would ever know that.
Right.
Not in this lifetime, anyway. Maybe later you'll get an answer.
Or when we get to the other side, we will know everything. All of our answers or our questions will be answered.
Well, that's what I was kind of leading to, but I didn't say it.
Yeah. So hopefully we will find out someday, but probably not down here on this earth. There's too many different opinions from people and so many things that nobody really knows for sure. We can just kind of speculate and have an open mind, but mainly just share our experiences with each other. But yeah, this has been, another good stream. It's been a little over an hour, so we could probably wrap it up some, and we could probably do this another time, like when it's earlier, and I can explain some of my strange vivid dreams that I had another
Yeah,
time.
because we never got to all of them yet.
No,
So
well, I
I
can,
see. I see. I think I'm sorry, everybody in chat, that we ignored your comments and Derek and Toombs and
Well, I'm glad they showed
everybody
up.
that I guess we should have brought up their questions, but there was a couple of them. One of them in particular, I didn't know if I should really read off. I should have asked, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm glad a couple people did. They're night owls and they showed up in chat. That was really nice of them and to type in chat to let us know they were there. I really appreciate that.
Well, that was probably my fault again because I didn't really put it out days ahead of time that we were going to be on, and maybe the time, how I worded the time, might have messed people up, or I don't know.
Well, this is our second video. We need to practice about looking over and reading chat and actually interacting with everyone. So, we'll get used to that. Right now, we're just kind of concentrating on our video and talking to each other. And I did look over and just kind of read the chat some.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still learning. But yeah, we can do this again, and I'll talk about even more vivid dreams. Some, like I said, some people have bad ones with aliens and being abducted or waking up on a table on a UFO. I've never experienced anything like that. Mine was always kind of on the positive side, and I will probably share it, on another stream that I actually had an experience with a reptilian. And what was really wild about it is I had no fear of it. So I'll explain that one sometime. And then another one I experienced being on a UFO and going up to the pilots and actually knowing that there was two people sitting in a seat and I knew I was in the UFO, and I'll explain what I was saying and what I was doing on that. And once again, you just instantly wake up and realize like, oh my gosh, what did I just experience? And
Yeah.
and you remember everything. And like I said, years later, you remember all of it. But when you instantly wake up out of bed, and one time I almost just grabbed your shoulder and, just woke you up, and I realized, no, I just woke up from a dream and you were sound asleep. So we'll do a part two sometime, and I'll share my vivid experiences that I can't explain, but I sure can explain what I remember. Anyway.
Right. So, and not to get into the subject or talk any more about it necessarily, but that just makes you wonder, dude.
We've got Duke. We've got Super Duke. Hi, how are you, Duke? Man, that just surprised me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move in chat, and I look over and I went, "It's Duke." Well, welcome in, Duke. We're talking about dreams. So we're talking about the difference of dreams that you don't remember or vivid dreams. So never had a dream about Sasquatch or anything. We can always ask the chat a question. Hey, Duke, have you ever had a dream that actually was about the Sasquatches that you experience and see? Because I never. I mean, you've had a dream about animals, but definitely haven't had a dream about Sasquatch.
No, well, now I was telling you in the one with the owl, I felt as big as a Sasquatch or in stature,
Oh,
but
that's right. Yeah.
I don't really think I was, or I don't remember picturing myself or seeing fur or that, but I just, for whatever reason, I had that in my mind that I was just like a Bigfoot.
Hmm. Well, we were talking about reincarnation. Maybe we have been reincarnated in Sasquatch. I've been fascinated with them my whole life, ever since I was little. Are we born once again drawn into some of these things that could have been past experiences? So I'm trying to read what he says. I have to say, I have never had a dream about the biggies.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of weird now that you think about it. Yeah, interesting. Because I thought I heard somewhere that sometimes they come and visit people in their dreams or get messages but oh,
Well, it makes me kind of wonder now that I've said this about the owl dream, which the owl was the important part of my dream, but but bringing up the Bigfoot aspect of it, could people be reincarnated as cryptids or Bigfoots or Dogman or Mothman? Could that be a part? Could that actually be
Hmm.
a part of someone's
I don't
reincarnation?
know. It makes me wonder. I just wonder if some people have had past life experiences. Oh, recall, when you go to a person and they help you remember your past lives, it makes me wonder if anybody's experienced being in a Bigfoot family.
Well, I'm just wondering if the cryptids that we're seeing now or the Bigfoots that we're seeing, maybe this is their reincarnation on our planet. They're during our what
Right.
we're experiencing during our reincarnation or experience here on this life that we're experiencing.
Mhm. Is
Could
that,
my reincarnation have been a Bigfoot during a different time and some other life experience?
oh, is that why there's certain people that the Sasquatch are drawn to also? That they're gentle to them or they mind speak to them, give them messages, kind of like being friends, because I know they've never harmed Duke, and especially Robin McCrae, they've never hurt her. That, there's certain people that they are possibly drawn to.
There you go. Duke just said it.
I know someone who says that they were a Sasquatch in their last life. Interesting.
And I don't know
They
why that
do
just
have,
popped into my head while we were talking about. I've never ever had that thought before. I've never even heard of anybody saying that. But now Duke says
oh,
he knew somebody.
well, that's really interesting. That I feel like I had the experience when I was a little girl that Robin said that I was actually calling for the little juvenile girl in the woods to come play with me. And I've always believed in Bigfoot my whole life, being raised by a mom raising four kids. She believed in Bigfoot. So I've always believed in Sasquatch. So then these last few years, I just feel a presence when I'm out in the backyard, like something's watching me, and you just kind of know that something is close by.
So there's a second part of Duke's
Mm,
answer.
maybe I'll just
So
say,
that makes sense to me that
oh, wow.
I don't know about the murdering somebody, but that just makes sense to me that if we've been
Hmm.
reincarnated and have all these lives where we actually come back to Earth or our planet, that it makes sense that cryptids might be a reincarnation and come back to our planet.
Yeah, maybe they reincarnate also. Maybe it's not just us, everything reincarnates and just experiences different things.
Now, I wonder if people reincarnate and go to other planets.
Other planets? Well,
Or why
I've
is it
heard,
always Earth? Why does it
yeah,
always have to
I've
be
heard
Earth?
that. Yeah, some people say they do remember being on this planet or that planet or being a blue person. One person said that, they remember being like a lion being or a feline being. So maybe we experience all kinds of different things.
See, when I think of reincarnation, I always picture myself coming back or I'm on Earth during a time period, whether it was a gladiator or
Hmm.
a gunfighter or, back in the early West or a soldier in the war, World War One, or whatever it is. I've never thought of myself ever being reincarnated on another planet.
Oh my. I need to pull up Duke's. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be us either.
I know. I make a mistake sometimes of saying I hate people. Well, I really don't hate people. I just avoid them. And I just don't like talking to a bunch of people because everyone's strange these days. I'd rather be in the
Well,
backyard with my purple martins, my hummingbirds, my 50 chickens, and two goats, and everything else that's in the backyard that has four legs.
well, you
I just,
think about it, that statement that Duke just typed out for us, that why would if you knowingly think that if you kill somebody a human, that you would become a human, that I don't know if that would be your punishment or that's your reincarnation. I mean, why would you want not to be a Bigfoot? You have all that strength, you have that height, you're
Hmm.
out there with the freedom, doing whatever you want.
Away from people.
You see what humans do to this world that you are trying to enjoy, or I mean, yeah, exactly. Why would you risk killing somebody knowing that you're going to suffer what you see them doing every day?
Well, because humans have been like this for many, many, many years. The self-righteousness gets to them, and the selfishness and the greediness, and
You're downgraded. That's for sure. Yeah, because I'm assuming if on Duke's show and everybody else's show, you're assuming, and I believe in the theory that that they're a supernatural being, that they have powers, the Bigfoot,
mm-hmm.
and you're risking giving up. It'd be like to us, it'd be like a superhero doing, Superman or whoever, and doing something and getting their powers taken away. Then they're just like us. There's a normal person, boring. Whatever you just did, you just gave up your eternal life or your ability to be super strong or fly or like the Bigfoot, be interdimensional and mind speak, and you just gave all that up for one act that you did.
Well, I just had a thought that we were talking about earlier, that all of us are pretty much connected, and even our past loved ones, when they pass, that you just feel that you're connected with them and they're a part of you. Or like I said, that it's not just Jesus living inside of our heart area, it's the Holy Spirit and God and everything. And if the reincarnation is real, or multiverse, or parallel, whatever it is, and we have to experience all different things. We have to experience being a Bigfoot. We have to experience being a bird. We have to experience being a murderer, even, or, experience everything. And then when we cross over and become one, you'll understand all these other beings and stuff because you were one at one time. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. You give
Okay.
up.
Plus, they live way longer. How long do they live, Duke? Huh. Yeah, I've never really thought about, how long do Sasquatch actually do live? Well, they
Yeah.
do get old. They
I
do
mean, I,
say
I
that
mean,
they,
I, I mean, obviously Duke and Robin have talked about, immature,
yeah, being old, and you definitely
the
can tell
old
that they're an
ones, and
older
so they
one.
do have a lifespan,
Hmm.
but we don't know how. I don't know how long it is. Is it 200 years? Is it longer than that? Is it? I mean, of course, humans. If you believe the biblical account, we had that
Hmm.
too.
Right. We did have that at one time.
So maybe the Bigfoot, since they aren't like us, maybe they live to 1,000 years, like in biblical times.
Well, if they're possibly inner Earth or hollow Earth beings, also, we don't know how long they live either. Or even anything that lives on another planet. I don't think as many YouTubes as I've watched all these years, I don't think anybody's talked about a lifespan of a Sasquatch or an alien or anything like that. The
Oh,
oldest one I know was a Sasquatch.
so we're talking thousands.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
Hmm.
That's very interesting. Now, our last show, if Duke, you ended up watching our very first show, We were talking about orbs a lot, and a lot of people have seen an orb and then seen a Sasquatch. Have you ever experienced anything like that? I've seen an orb that's associated, and then shortly after a Sasquatch appears. Okay, that makes sense about that.
Okay.
Never seen an
You know,
orb associated with his Sasquatches. Okay.
with Robin and Duke, in communication with Bigfoot or their families, or I don't know if you call it a clan, I guess.
Clan or family, yeah,
It
whatever
would
they
be
call it.
it would be interesting if Robin or Duke would write a book on their experiences in the times of the nights and growing up and seeing all this progression. It would be nice, not nice, but cool to see a book written in their perspective, them telling them to Robin and Duke and them writing the book of the Bigfoot experience of what.
Well, Robin is in the middle of a book, and she was hoping to get it done here real soon. I'm not sure what it's about. Duke probably knows. Maybe she is talking about all of her experiences in this book, but I know she's been trying to work
Well,
on that
I'm
book.
not talking about our experiences with the Bigfoot. I'm talking about writing the Bigfoot's experience, his story
Oh,
in
I
a
see.
book.
Kind of like them mind speaking and telling you their experiences. Yeah. Yepers. Yep, Robin is writing a book right now. Yeah, I can't wait for that's done. I'm definitely going to get that book.
So you think that's possible, Duke? Do you think you guys could communicate and write down their experiences, not our experiences with them, but what they've went through? Would they
That would be
communicate that
interesting.
to you?
Yeah, like mind speak, and they tell them what to say in the book and how they feel about humans and some of the experiences they've had by the bad humans that have gone in and interfered in their territory.
Or not even that, just how their family life is growing
Yeah.
up and what they've experienced being that. Not even necessarily the human aspect of it, just what they are about.
Why do they make teepees out of trees? It still makes me wonder if it's a playpen. And I'm glad Duke is in chat because what I keep seeing, they're not sleeping in these little tents. It looks almost like a playpen. They're putting their little juveniles inside those little teepee huts that you're finding in the woods. Because a big giant Bigfoot can't fit in there.
Well, Duke, if you ever get that book done, you can just give me a little
Yeah.
credit in the footnotes.
Yeah, Duke needs to write a book. That would be wonderful. Oh, interesting, Duke. Yeah, I can't wait till Robin gets her book done. And I'd love to see a book from Duke also. We'll definitely purchase that one.
Now, Duke, you have books, right?
Pardon me?
I was asking Duke. I think he does have books, right?
I'm not sure. Duke, have you written a book? Hmm. I just know that Robin said she's hoping to get her book done by their Nebraska conference. So she can, have the books ready. So hopefully she'll get hers done. I would love to read all of her experiences and what she has to say. We think the teepees are combination markers and energy collectors. Oh, I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. Just like people wanting this inside a pyramid or a Merkaba. Oh, I never even thought about that, getting energy inside of there.
Well, Duke,
Oh,
since
wow.
since you don't have any books, I think you should take that idea and run with it and get Robin or somebody else involved and put that out under your name.
co-write, both of you write Robin's first book is almost done, then you two can get together and write a book together. That would be really cool. Interesting. And
I know I'd like to read it to see what their experiences are and what they've went through.
so, Duke, have you ever used the EMF meters, and have your friendly Sasquatch set them off? Because I have about like 3 or 4 of them, and I want to start playing with them a little bit in the backyard this next summer and see if something will set it off, or a UFO or something will set my EMF meters off. And I know some people have been kind of playing with them with the Sasquatch, but Robin said that sometimes they break them. And I said, I don't care, Robin. They're so cheap. I'll keep buying them on Amazon if they come up and break my EMF meters this summer. I'd actually probably laugh about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some interesting stuff. I mean, I
Mhm.
really, I mean, I know from watching Duke's show and listening to Robin and other podcasts, about aspects of Bigfoot,
Mhm.
whether it's the teepees or the markers or, but I have never ever understood why or what they are other than what Duke just said, markers, but
Mhm.
oh,
Oh, a drone would be
that'll be
really
good.
cool. Mhm. Oh, that would be interesting. We're connected to this 50, 60-acre field. If we get a drone and learn how to fly it and fly it over that field, that's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, that makes for some good sightings, You don't have to worry about slipping down the banks or tripping over something. You can just sit there and just have the drone do all the work for you and get better footage, and you can zoom in and get closer, or well, hopefully not too close enough where it swats it out of the air.
Yeah, that's true. Throw rocks at it. Well, and sometimes when we have the cornfield, you're 6'3". Sometimes this corn is like 8 feet tall. So who knows what's hiding in our cornfield that's behind our backyard. But it would be interesting to have a drone and, you know, get used to it and see what we can pick up out there. Like we were saying on our last show, it'd be so funny if the orbs would show up and make a crop field in that field and check it out with the drone.
Well, if it's a Bigfoot, it would have to probably crouch to be hidden in our cornfield. If their average height is just starting out as an adult around nine
Mhm.
foot, 10 foot, all the way up as you go north, they get huge. Or what are they,
Yeah.
Duke? 20 foot. Some of them have been reported.
Yeah, way up north around Alaska. Yeah, I know Duke has mentioned they're huge when they go up north.
So
Uh,
I imagine that's why they're in the forests or in there, because at least the trees are possibly taller than them.
oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, what about times if they're even cloaking themselves out and you can see movement in the cornfield, but you can't see them? Could that be a possibility? That if they cloak, do they actually, can you see the leaves moving or, grass or a cornfield? And like I said, if we're suspecting that we've been being watched the last couple years and I've been having activity out in my barn and my goats are scared to death. They're looking over in the corner of the barn like, Mom, there's something over there and I don't see anything. And then the lights start flickering, and then they don't pay attention to me like, hey, Mom's here, give me food. No, they're both of them froze, like, looking in the barn. Once again, Robin verified that yeah, they like being inside my barn. They like my chicken eggs. You know, and I told them that's fine as long as they leave me a few every single day. But
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine coming up to seeing something that's, let alone 8 to 9 foot tall
mhm.
compared to me. I mean, that seems huge to me, even at 6'3", 6'4". So can you imagine something that's 18 to 20 foot tall?
Right. Well, it makes me wonder, maybe Duke might know this, you know, maybe not, but why is it that the more north you get, the bigger they are? You know, because it's freezing cold up in Alaska, and it does seem like they're more violent more up north also. And then the ones that other people are experiencing, they're very gentle. They've never harmed people, and they're mind speaking and protecting them at times. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a possibility. I didn't even think about us possibly getting a drone and checking some stuff out. That's
Yeah,
a that's a good idea, especially with this big field. Well, actually, there's 4 fields. I mean, we have no people in the backyard except for that house that's like 3 miles away on the next road. So we got a lot of field that we can play with.
well, I mean, we have all these forests and woods all around us that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be nicer to be able to get over the head of the trees and being able to see the clearings or stuff in the
Mm-hmm.
trees instead of just a straight, how most videos are, you're looking straight at the tree trunks and try to see stuff in between all the trees. Well, if you're up above, you'll have more clearings and hopefully space possibly at times to see what's down in between the trees.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just trying to picture it.
Hmm. Yeah, I never even thought about drones. So I guess it also makes a difference of what this farmer picks to grow this year. It's normally corn, but since we had the fertilizer problem last year, quite a few farmers grew beans, and definitely the GMO beans. So it was kind of nice having a lower field and having more of a view, but I actually kind of missed the tall cornfield and walking through and making mazes.
Yeah, if you had a drone with a thermal camera, even that you could switch on a thermal camera at night or during the day. Do they pick up they do they pick up their image on thermal? Do and I'll bring up his other one about 3 guys stacked up on top of each other.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can start getting up to 18 to 20 foot tall. It reminds me of giants, biblical giants that tall. So can you imagine, for a better word, an animal, whatever, however you want to classify Bigfoot, as being as big and as large as a giant of the stories that we've heard our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this Yepper is where they pick up on thermal.
Now, don't they cloak themselves out and you can't see them on thermal? I've heard that too. Now, if we can pick them up on thermal, I would be interested in getting a thermal. Just very interesting. Well, while Duke is in our chat, I should explain the thing that I was experiencing last year, besides actually just feeling something's watching me and my poor goats acting up in the barn. And I've heard like tapping on my roof, like they're playing piano. They're going do 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 do, and then they go down to the other side of the house. And I hear it's do do do, and then over in our bathroom, I heard do do do, and I'm kind of thinking they're kind of like they're playing piano on my roof. But well, anyway, I'm sitting in the backyard every single night because he doesn't come home until midnight. And so I'm out there all the time and I know all the noises and sounds. But two houses down, I keep hearing this kind of like an old barn hinge. And I'm thinking, what is that? You know, the lady down there doesn't have anything in her backyard that sounds like that. There's no barns. And we're all connected to this field in our backyard. She's never outside either. She's always inside. And I'm kind of thinking this, you know, this, oh, just a weird, just like an antique hinge squeaking. And so then when we talked to Robin about, you know, our suspicion of Sasquatch, when she was mind speaking with them, they came out and says, yeah, they say they like squeaking at you. And I kind of went, squeaking. And then it dawned on me like, oh my gosh, is that what I was hearing a couple of nights last summer? So have you ever experienced anything majorly squeaking like that? Because I was watching a podcast, and I'm pretty sure it was Hellbent and Holler podcast that they were talking about people hear squeaking, almost the same thing like a hinge. So you know, it definitely, it was a weird squeak. And Robin just said, yeah, they had fun squeaking at you and kind of laughing.
And I think she said during the same phone call or one of the phone calls that they were the ones tapping on our house.
Yeah.
And
And
they like looking at us through our windows, especially the one younger one.
well, the thing is about the tapping and then tapping down at the other bedroom and then tapping over at the bathroom. That's when I felt like I haven't felt them anymore. And the goats went back to normal and acting fine. And that light that kept going blinky, blinky, and flickering, that stopped flickering. And so I just it kind of makes me wonder, like, you know, where the saying volume playing piano up on my roof, and I haven't felt them. So I think that, you know, they took off for the winter. They're coming back this spring, hopefully, you know, because I do feel comfortable around them. I've never felt afraid of them or anything. I just felt like there's something watching me.
Yeah.
So they're squeaking.
You just get that feeling and you know whether
Yeah, when you just pick it up with your energy that, like, you know, something's not right here. You know,
maybe you could mind speak to them. Maybe if you concentrate and work on your was it empath, your skills, whatever.
yeah, being an empath or
Maybe
an
you would be
animal
able to
empath,
pick up.
yeah, I do pick up what our animals are saying and what the goats are saying and, you know, our dogs and cats. So yeah, if they start squeaking at me again next summer, I'll try to mind speak and see if I can pick anything up. So I need to chat bigger, or either that or I need my glasses on. Or you pull it up and I can read it a lot easier.
All right.
Thank you. Yay, that's a lot better. Okay.
Well, see, that's what I said the other
Okay.
day when me and Jane was talking about it. That you know, I've heard branches rub together and squeak.
This just sounded like an antique, rusty, or just it didn't sound like, you know, like a branches or anything. But I don't know. But it was definitely a strange sound. She doesn't have anything back there that would make that. But I honestly feel that Robin verified it, that they have been observing me. And like we were talking on our first show, it could be some of the instruments that I'm playing that, you know, they're drawn to, like, oh, what is that? You know, that's a really cool sound. So I'm not sure, you know, like I said, I'm not scared of them. I don't think they're going to come up and throw rocks at me or anything like that. So, but they can come and
Well,
watch and listen to me anytime they want. And just like our dog, there's times that, you know, she barks at a squirrel or she barks at anything with four legs. She has a certain bark for deer, but there has been times that when her fur from the neck all the way down to her tail is straight up and barking like she's going crazy, like she sees something in the field, you know, I do kind of, yeah, I get a little nervous and have her come inside real quick. And I'm not sure, you know, what it could be, but she has been seeing something out there that makes her fur stand straight up.
right, but you know, I think since we do love animals and living things, no matter what they are. I think they sense that about us, that I don't think they would harm us, but we don't go out of our way to test this theory.
Right. Well, I think they know that I'm not a threat.
I don't know, you're pretty threatening sometimes, I think.
Oh, gee, thanks. I didn't think I was that mean. No,
I
if
don't
I have
know. You scare me sometimes. Well, I don't know.
you're the one with the scary beard.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting that we've had squirrels come up to us and get oatmeal cookies out of our hands. We've had the coon come up and sit down and hold on to the railings and ask for food. It makes me wonder if we are already our mind speaking with the animals.
And that's the second part to Duke's answer about the war
Hmm.
or the giants or the big. I'm assuming from what Duke wrote, the Bigfoot were actually battling them.
Wow. Well, I don't
Yeah,
blame
that
them.
would be. Is could you imagine? We think of the David and Goliath, or humans, normal sized people fighting these big giants. But can you
Yep.
imagine fighting
The
an
numbers.
interdimensional person that can cloak themselves, or a Bigfoot that can cloak themselves, and probably what, at least 100 times stronger than you, if not even more than that. I don't know how you would equate how strong they are compared to us.
You know what that reminds me of is that current movie called The Atom Project, and those things keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in when they were fighting them. Is that what you're
Right.
talking about?
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it's bad enough, this giants, they're this big living flesh and blood human,
Hmm.
supersized. But can you imagine fighting something that size that actually has powers, that actually is supernatural, interdimensional?
Wow. What's the future going to bring? More different cryptids, more different powers. What are we going to start battling?
I don't want to battle.
I don't want to battle either. I want to get along with all of them, but we do know that there's some nasty bad guys out there. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
Sasquatch. There's all kinds of weird things out
Oh,
there.
you're talking about
Oh yeah,
reptilicans,
rep,
reptile.
reptilians.
Yeah, reptilians.
Yeah,
I keep saying it as a kid,
reptilians.
reptilicans.
Well, if I had a vivid dream about a reptilian, I know they're real because what I experienced was very strange. I don't even think anybody could imagine that coming up. But if I remember it, yeah, I know they're real out there. I just know that I experienced it. I wasn't scared of him. He was scared of me. And that's what I think why I had that dream that I learned from it that they're scared of us. We should have no fear. Oh no, what did he say?
Yeah.
See, sorry.
Duke said they just ripped the Sasquatch would just rip their arms off and beat them with them.
Wow.
That image just kind of reminds me of the old sci-fi movies where King Kong was fighting
Yeah.
the things, and
Pick him up and smack him down and smack him down and smack him down. I don't blame the Sasquatch from avoiding humans and being out in the woods. I actually would love to have a house way in the middle of the woods and just away from everybody and people. Like I said, I just try to avoid people. There's too many mean people out there in the world. I enjoy my animals and my husband.
ah,
Oh,
well, Duke, maybe that can be your second book, can be a book about Sasquatch fighting giants.
yeah.
That'd be a good, interesting book to write.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I think Duke needs to write some books and Robin get her first one finished and write some more. But don't look at me, I'm not a book writer. So what's the next one? Pop it up so I can see it.
I just came up with it. Unless you came up faster than me.
I'm using our old tablet for chat and then our new tablet for the video.
Oh, all right. If you have a Sasquatch for neighbors and they like you, you are in the safest place you can possibly be.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
I've heard that.
Ah,
Robin,
ah.
have said that.
Well, like I was telling you the other night that, once again, I hear this on podcasts. It might be Duke, it might be someone else's podcast. But last summer, we've had quite a few coyotes. But before they start yipping, I would hear a certain howl that almost actually sounded like a wolf. And it was always by itself. And then you hear the pack off like behind the fields or at the edge of the field. And someone said that sometimes the Sasquatch will howl, like the coyotes to actually protect us and scare them off.
Oh,
Because
kind
we
of
had quite a few coyotes last summer, and they'd be, like down the road or at the edge of our backfield or over at our niece's that is on the other side of town.
right. Yeah, it'd be like a guardian
Mm-hmm.
out there putting a barrier between us and them.
No, like I said, I really haven't felt any presence or that they're back or anything because they, probably come back here and there. And plus, I'm not in the backyard playing any Native American flutes or drums or anything like that.
Well, not that it would ever happen or anything, but I sure would like to have a Bigfoot come up when the federalities come. It'd be nice to have somebody like that or a Sasquatch on your side fighting,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just picking up their cars and SUV armored cars and just throwing them like matchboxes.
Oh my. I think they pick up our energy and know if we're safe or we're mean people or, we just mean no harm to them. Sometimes the piggies hunt the coyote. Oh, interesting. They do mimic them. Yes, I heard that they mimic coyotes.
Oh,
Wow.
so they mimic a
Okay.
coyote to bring him into them so they can capture him to get him.
Hmm.
Wow.
Well, I just know that as many years that we've had these same two goats and we know their behavior, just like I said, when I go in that barn, our big giant Nubian goat is the size of a miniature donkey, and he doesn't baa like the little one does. He goes, Mom, Mom. And then they want their food and they're just bugging me and they're following me and chasing me around. But when they're at the fence just staring with it, if you have goats, they have creepy eyes anyway. But when his eyeballs just like that, both of them are looking in the corner of the other side of the barn. They don't want food, they just act like there's something over there, Mom. And I did felt, a presence, but I kind of went over there to make sure there wasn't a skunk in the barn or anything like that. And skunks normally don't wake up during that time. They just wake up in the dark. But,
Yeah.
our other goat is half faint. He's half pygmy and half faint. And he's never fainted once. But, even with this, it didn't scare him enough to actually make him faint for the first time or anything. But they definitely were acting up and just let me know, like, I don't care about your food. There's something over there.
Nah.
So I don't know. Hopefully I'll
Well,
get a cider soon.
that's kind of funny how we went from dreams
The Sasquatch.
to
Or
Sasquatch.
dreaming about Sasquatch. That's how we
Yeah,
kind of started it.
we did bring up dreams and Sasquatch to
Mhm.
segue into this, I guess. And then Duke came in to help us go full bore into Sasquatch.
Oh yeah. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Duke. This has been fun.
Yeah, it really has. We had two people earlier and then they had to leave and well, they're Australia. They were always it was evening. And then Duke came on and he's a night owl. We just figured Midwest, or we'll call him Gerald sometimes, you know, comes home at midnight and we're always up till like 2 or so. We just thought, hey, there's people that are awake late night and we'll just get on and see how long this goes. And actually, it's been almost 2 hours. I can't believe this.
Yeah, I know. We've covered quite a bit tonight, and not even
Mhm.
meaning to. We just kind of snowballed into all kinds of stuff, and then ideas with Duke about books and different situations and different aspects of Sasquatch, and it's been really fun.
Definitely. And asking Duke questions and verifying some of the experience that we've had. So
Well,
I,
Duke, sometime we'll have to get together and we'll just have a full on show on Sasquatch and get you
well,
on here with us or us with you or whichever way you want to do it or both even.
well, I'll tell you what, last night we were playing around with StreamYard because we're still new at this. And we wanted to see how many people we can get. So we kind of did different emails and we were able to get 4 squares up. So I would absolutely love to have Duke and Robin on at the same time.
Yeah, we could do that.
That would be
That'll be a
really,
really good
really fun.
show.
Yes. And especially since we found out last night that we can actually have 2 guests and have 4 squares. And even if we couldn't, like I said, we could sit next to each other where you're at and, just be both sitting here. But we did figure out that we can have 4 squares up. So, with a free stream yard, like you said.
Yeah, we might have to invest sometime as we get going, so we can have a little more bells and whistles, I
Hmm.
guess. But so far, it's worked out pretty good.
Right. And like we said last time, we're just using our Samsung tablets and the mics are very clear. I don't have to have a headset in. And I still wonder if some of those or they get crackly, where the mic is down on their neck and the video is just the camera on these Samsung tablets are very, very clear. I'm really impressed by this.
Yeah, for my video, they're probably too clear. I probably should turn down the lights a little bit.
Yeah, well, you do have, yeah, you stole my ring light for my music videos, you little stinker.
Well, you
I'm
can
in
have
here
it
with
back.
little Christmas lights up above me trying to get me some light.
You can have it back.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't see you.
That's exactly my point. They'd probably like it better that way.
Oh my. Well, this has definitely been fun for our second video and going to dreams and vivid dreams to dreaming about Sasquatch, and then we got into Sasquatch. You guys are ahead of me. I never do. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Duke doesn't do live streams. He does pre-recordings.
Well,
But
we
you're
we
but
can,
you could be a guest on a live stream, so we'll just have you live as a guest.
or
But
we can pre-record a show with you sometime.
well, that's my Chiro sound therapy with all my instruments and all my music videos. There's no way I would have been live years ago until just recently, and I feel comfortable actually doing this, and it's so much fun. But I always just record it and edit it, and if I made a mistake, I'd start all over and say take two, and just edit it and I upload it. I always just uploaded it. People said, well, why don't you just go on live and do a live concert or something? And I said, I don't do that. I don't perform. I don't like people actually watching me. I'd rather do a video, make sure it looks good, and I upload it. So yeah, I'm kind of similar. But now
But
since we're
but
doing this on Midwest Night Watchers, yeah, now I'm doing lives.
see, but even you, when we sit there and watch other people's live streams, and there's a hiccup or a thing, that's
Mhm.
the funnest live stream, and we say that all the time. So that's funny, we love the fact that stuff happens during live streams. So they would enjoy that of your music videos too, if something a little
Right.
hiccup, and I mean they would enjoy it. They wouldn't. criticize it, they would know, okay, it's live stream, stuff happens.
Yeah, or like a drumstick flying out of a hand, and so we will see. Yeah, he is live twice a week on Space Talk Radio.
Yep,
This
we've
on
watched
our channel. Yeah.
we've watched you many times on Spaced Out Radio and do the
Hmm.
cryptid report.
So yeah, that would be
That's
fun.
I think that might have been the first time we ever got to know you in chat was on Spaced Out.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Like I said, I saw Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress, for quite a long time. I caught her off a Journey to Truth, and some of these other people have been on Spaced Out Radio. So yeah, that would be fun to have Duke and Robin live on our show, and we can talk about Sasquatch and talk them into writing books.
Yeah,
Or maybe Robin's book will be done, and she can talk about her new book.
there you go.
Oh yeah, yeah. I need to text her and see if she's almost done. She's still been working on it.
Well, I think we should go ahead and end this show, even though I'd like to continue talking to Duke all night. We've been on almost 2 hours now.
Yeah, that's even longer than our first video. But it does go by so fast. It just seems like we just started and it's already been 2 hours. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. We had some people pop on anyway, real late at night. Oh,
Yep.
good.
And once again, Duke, thank you so much for popping into the chat and helping us out, discussing Sasquatch and giving us insights and stuff that we didn't know about them. And I mean, obviously, you know a lot more about the subject than we do. I mean, we're
Mhm.
trying to learn, and we kind of know what we think things are or what the aspects of them are. But it's nice to have somebody like you and Robin there teaching us and telling us what your experiences is and what you guys know that obviously we have no clue sometimes. We're just like baffled, like what is that? What's going on? So we appreciate it very much, Duke.
Yeah, I really appreciate you being on and supporting us. And we just love supporting your show and try to catch Robin, live on other podcasts. And we just love this whole chat community that's in everybody's chat room. We just keep seeing people over and over again, and I appreciate. We never planned on starting the live podcast. It's just recently that we thought about it. But hey, why not? I do have experiences and that I'd like to share with people. So, I'm just glad that, Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress, came the other night and supported us in chat. And we've got Duke and we had Tombstone and, you know, a few people that came in chat and are supporting us now. And I really do appreciate it.
Yes, that's amazing. I never ever would have thought being on YouTube or being online live, especially, and being able to share and talk to people and get to know everybody. And it's a really nice community. I mean,
Yes,
we
it is.
love everybody, whether it's Duke and Robin and Jessica and BMR, Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Krista and Brandy from Blondes and Booze and Tex at Front Porch. And I mean, there's just so many of them. I hope I didn't leave anybody out, and I'm sure I did because we've got to know so many people being in their chats. And
Oh, there's just so many that we have gotten to know. That there's Amber's Peril World, there's Marty Nanaboss, there's Tom from NCCPP to North Carolina. There's just so many that we
yeah, and
watch, and so many
there's
times they're on at the same time, and I'm going, oh my goodness! I try to double chat, and watch one and watch the other because I don't you don't want to miss them. Or the other
oh,
night,
that's
I still have, huh?
well, I was just going to say that's why we picked this time tonight.
Yeah.
12:30, we figured we wouldn't be interfering with anybody else's show. And if
Hmm.
somebody was up late and they might want to have something to do or talk about or whatever, we could do it and get
Well,
people involved, and I just happen to think we didn't mention Chris from CBC
oh, okay, yeah.
with their Country Boys Cryptid.
Mm-hmm. And William and Dennis's show, William and
William and
Nighthawk show.
Dennis, Nighthawk. There's just so many of them that we've got to know, and
Well, I've just learned that I need
eventually
to,
we'd like to have them all on as guests, but we're just starting out, and they're so busy with their own stuff. We'll just have to see, and even the people in chat. It's not even the shows. We've got to know so many people.
mhm, a lot of people.
At least
Yeah,
we've got to know them in chat by their chat names. It's like they probably didn't really know who we were.
right. Well, like I was saying the other night, I've been on YouTube for many, many years trying to interact in chats, and they don't say hi to me or they don't pull up my questions or interact with me. And I say, oh, that's fine. I'll just kind of lurk in the background and listen to them anyway. And it's just been this past year that I kept recognizing more people, the same familiar people, and they just slowly got to know us. And you took over the Midwest Night Watchers channel, and I just stayed on the Giro channel, and that's how we became who we are in chat.
Yeah,
And so now with Duke asking about Nebraska, there is so many conferences that I really wish that I could go to. And even Journey to Truth having their UFO conference in Illinois that I could easily go to. Our situation is I've got 50 plus chickens and I got 2 goats, and we have several cats and 1 dog on the inside of the house. All of our children are busy, or they work third shift, or they don't live close by, and we have nobody to animal babysit and take care of everybody for us to take off for a few days. So we've
and
been kind
since you
of stuck
mentioned
here.
and since you mentioned Journey to Truth, we've talked to Tyler, or you have specifically,
Hmm. Yeah, through
and
Messenger.
and they he did a little video for us of one of the things you've caught in the sky, and they're doing that conference and talking about people we got to know. That's where Jessica
Yeah, oh, that's right.
is going
Jessica
down there.
and Barry Littleton are both going to be at that conference. So yeah, I would absolutely love to go if, we could somehow figure out, if by chance some of our kids can stay here. And so, yeah, we're just kind of,
Then
we got rid of our children. They finally grew up and moved away, and then we started collecting animals. And so,
I
we
don't
can't go anywhere. We're stuck with chickens and goats and
I don't know if I've necessarily collected animals.
well, you let me start out with,
Oh,
what was it, four baby chickens, and it just kind of grew into like 50 plus chickens and like 15 roosters, and
then the goats we had to take.
then the goats we kind of adopted and got them for free. So, but yeah, I would absolutely love to travel and go to conferences and maybe eventually. Oh, that's right. There is one this weekend that Jessica was talking about too, that she was going to be with Robin.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Georgia. Yeah, we are Central Illinois.
Then some other people that we got to know, obviously Steve Stockton
Oh yeah, Steve
and
Stockton and
then
Bree. Mm-hmm.
Thin Lizzie Borden Bree, and now we Dark Woods and
And Primal Cry.
Primal Cry, and this all these people are reaching out and have been very nice to us, and we've always tried to be positive and in everybody's chats, but like you said, there's just so many of them now that it's just we're trying to double chat and triple chat sometimes, and
Now I just got to the point that I had my tablet on one show and then my new tablet on another show, and then on my phone I'd have another show. And after a while it just kind of got difficult that you're trying to pay attention to everyone. And I just start clicking watch later. Once you leave to go to work, I just start catching up with my watch later shows, and You know, I
Dude.
just feel bad sometimes. Central Illinois is really close to the Nebraska. I know, I know. And it would also be close to Montana because I have a brother that lives in Montana, like I mentioned in chat one time. I'm not sure if you remember that, Duke. So yeah, my mother retired and moved to a little cabin between Silvergate and Cook City, tiny little towns. It was about a mile from the northeast border. And so when she passed away, my brother moved from Nebraska and he moved into her house. And they've got a little gift shop called Stop the Car Trading Post in Silvergate. And so I've been there several different times when my mother was alive and experienced Yellowstone and going through Yellowstone. And then she bought a house over in Gardner so she can stay in the wintertime because that's where her doctor was and everything like that. So she'd drive an hour and a half or 2 hours through Yellowstone to go to her winter home. So yeah, maybe one of these days we can go to the Nebraska conference and I can whip up and go see my brother. That would be fun.
But it's amazing that all these conferences are popping up, more and more every year.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing whether it's for Sasquatch or Frogman or Dogman
Hmm.
or all of them. Some of the conferences, it's just all the cryptids and all the
Right. And UFO conferences. Yeah, there's all kinds of conferences that I just, if we eventually stop having baby chickens and we slow down with our chickens, maybe eventually we could do, start traveling. Once you retire from your job, we could possibly have a weekend or go take off for a little bit. If we pay our children a lot of money, maybe they would stay here. We could bribe them. I say, what does it take for you guys to stay here and lock up my chickens and goats every single night and feed them? So you
Wow,
need to
dude,
pull.
that was quite a trip you took.
We lost. Oh, wow. Yeah, my brother was saying, because I was on the phone with him recently, he's saying you guys are supposed to have some really nasty snow again coming up here in a couple days.
Well,
So yeah,
Friday, I
yeah,
think it's going to be the worst for us, where they're going to have horrible storms and
yeah,
systems come through, and the north and stuff is going to get the snow again, and we're going to get the tornadoes and everything else.
yeah. Where he is, Beartooth Pass closes, and sometimes Cody, Wyoming, that does close at times. And there's times they're snowed in there for quite a while. They just stock up on their animal food and their own food and wait till they can get out and then they can finally go to Cody and stock up on their groceries and stuff. But yeah, they're supposed to be getting more massive snow here in a couple days. But I still don't know how my mother lived up there. I mean, she, late 60s and then she passed at 72. She was by herself and cooked on the wood burning stove and just stayed in that little town all year long. She wasn't one of these that took off the winter. She handled it and had her little bear stick with nails when she went and got the mail and made sure she was safe. And so, Duke, I really don't know how you did it. I don't know how my mother did it.
Pioneer spirit still
Yeah,
lives.
we called her Pioneer Mom. Yeah. She'd cut down a tree herself and drag it up and then get the chainsaw and cut it up herself. She raised 4 kids by herself in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, she was definitely a very strong-willed pioneer woman and retired early and moved out of Illinois and went to teeny tiny little town in Montana until she passed away. But it's a beautiful area up there.
Wow, that's quite a lineup.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and Christy, yeah, I knew Christy Sci-Fi was going there also. Blaine Tyler, I've heard of Blaine Tyler before too. Now, are you going to record this whole conference and kind of show segments later? Because I know some conferences actually do that. There's probably going to be plenty of pictures. Yeah, that would be a good conference to go to. Well, I know Nebraska wouldn't be too far either. It's just we're stuck with, your work schedule if you can actually get off at times. And then our giant zoo that we created,
Yeah.
the chicken ranch.
Well, we said we were gonna quit in 2 hours and we're past that already again.
Well, Duke keeps us going.
I know, Duke.
Yeah, it's Duke's fault. He keeps popping in, and we keep talking about more stuff and more stuff. And he's probably having fun too. I can just see Duke back there going giggling. I'm keeping him going. This has been a lot of fun. Just
It
getting to know
has.
these people even more. Just personally. Now they're actually getting to know us. I really don't feel nervous. I kind of do feel like I'm just talking to you, and we're starting to learn to look over and pay attention to chat.
Right. Well,
So
and before we go, uh, speaking of conferences and stuff, it's really not a conference, but Blondes and Booze, Brandy and Krista got that
the haunted
haunted
house.
house that they're
Mhm.
having tours and going on ghost hunts with people that buy
Oh
tickets
yeah,
and go. We thought about going to that too.
but that's on the other side of Iowa, and that would be, once again, leaving a dog home by herself that she's never ever once had us gone. And, if it was close like the Illinois border, my goodness, it only takes an hour and a half that we're in Davenport, Iowa. But it's just, it was on the other side of Iowa. So I'm just thinking, oh man, I would love to go to that too.
Duke.
Good.
But then
Yeah, and
there's a second part.
just because mostly. Well, I know Robin says she was working on trying to get her book done before that conference, so I really hope she actually gets that done. And then I want one. I mean, that's going to be an amazing book. And I really wish that Duke would. I mean, he's got so many experiences. It would be an amazing book. But come on, Duke, you and Robin get together. You guys have to have a book together.
Yep, that'd be fantastic. Well, Duke, as much fun as this is, I am going to call it quits. I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's
sign off for the night. I'm sorry we have to leave you.
well, it is 2:43 here. I mean, I'm not sure if Montana's 1 or 2 now. I think they're 1 hour apart of us. Well, it's 2:44. It just changed. So yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning for us. But it's been great. It's been a wonderful show again, and we had a few people show up and chat. It's 1:44. Okay, that's right. In the spring, we ended up 2, and then the wintertime, or yeah, we're 2 in the wintertime. In the spring, we ended up being 1 apart. I kind of
Yep,
remember that with my mom.
Duke says it's 1:44.
1:44. Yeah, it's 2:44 here. But yeah, I really wasn't expecting them to go past 2 hours. This really turned out to be another good show, and we'll share it out, and people can watch the replay. And it's been great. I really appreciate Duke you being in here,
Yes, thank you
and
so much,
supporting
Duke.
us.
I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight in chat. We appreciate it very much, and thank you for coming. And I think we will probably continue doing late nights or early mornings, whichever way you want to call it,
Hmm.
and see where this goes.
Someplace on the weekend, possibly like we did last weekend. Either did we do it Saturday or Sunday? What day did we do that? Saturday?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was late Saturday afternoon
It
is when
was
we did it.
Saturday
Hmm.
about 3:30, 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
somewhere in there, PM our time, Central.
So yeah, we don't have a proper schedule yet, but we'll try to post ahead of time and let people know that we're planning on going on,
And
and
it's
then we can figure out.
going to be all kinds of subjects, whether it's cryptid, paranormal, into the unknown, UFO, aliens, Sasquatch, dogmen, whatever whatever comes up at the moment, that's what we're gonna talk about, and
And piercing the veil.
piercing the veil,
Mhm.
see what's on the other side. Hopefully we can get a little understanding of something. Somebody can enlighten us.
Exactly.
All right, well,
All right.
good night, everybody. Hope you have a blessed week, and we'll hope to see you this weekend or on the weekend.
Yes.
And good night, Dirk. Super Duke, good
Mm.
night.
Yes, Super Duke, thank you very much. We love you and we love all of you of watching. Thank you so much for supporting us. Please like the button and share and subscribe and help us get us out there. I would really appreciate it. And just thank you so much for joining us. And yes, we will see you, Duke. Was listening to your show. I know Gerald was on your show last Sunday, but I had a family emergency and I was on the phone with my brother in Montana pretty much the whole time that your show was on. So I was just kind of listening and then taking care of that. So I apologize for not being in your chat last Sunday. I felt really odd because I'm always in there and I went, oh man, I missed Duke's show, but I was listening off of his tablet. So I do apologize, but family emergencies happen when you don't expect it. So, but yes, I will definitely see you Sunday on your show, Duke. And thank you so much for joining us and being in our chat. I really appreciate it.
And feel free, everybody, to find us. We created a Facebook group for Midwest Night Watchers,
Hmm.
and all our friends and people can share their shows and their live streams and everything else in there. We're giving everybody permission to start posting stuff and try to help out the little we can, to share out and get this stuff out to everybody. So in saying that, everybody have a blessed morning, week,
Yep. Or
wherever you're at right
afternoon,
now, and
whatever
we'll see
time
you
you're
next
watching
time.
us. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.